Um, what we're doing today is we're downloading a vulnerable machine from a place called Vuln Hub. The machine that we're going to download is called Mr. Robot, and we're going to put it in our virtual box to make it safe, because you do not want a vulnerable machine on your computer without it being on an internal network. So we're going to walk through doing all that. So let's jump right into this. The first thing you got to do is you got to go over to your settings, and you're going to make it so that when you have this in here, or when you start to download it, that your antivirus software does not stop it from coming in or quarantine it. So you go into Windows Security, Virus and Threat Protection, and you're going to go down, Manage Settings, and you're going to turn that off. Okay. So once you turn that off, you're ready to go to the Vuln Hub website. And what you're going to do is you're going to get on there and you're going to download that whole give me 1 second. You're going to download that whole computer into your virtual box. So as you can see, I've done a couple of them, but the one we want to do is Mr.Robot1. Let's see, page is not. So we're going to go Mr.Robot1. And that one there. So you want the OVM. I'm going to click on that. We're going to let it download. It takes a while. It says 13 to 14 minutes, but it usually takes about 20 minutes. So I'm going to break away and I'll come right back. Okay, so while that's downloading, it's got a little bit longer to go. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our command prompt, and we are going to set up DHCP. So we want to go in here and get into the Oracle VirtualBox. So we want to go here. We're going to type in program files. This is pretty cool. I've never done it before till I did this home hacking lab. And then network, and what you're going to name your network. So I'm going with perk dash server dash IP, and we're going to do 10.38.1.1. We're going to do dash lower dash IP. That's going to be 10.38.1.160. Sorry, had a bug. Dash upper dash IP equals 10.38.170. I forgot my one. 10.38.1.170. And that's the upper. Then we're going to do dash dash net mask equals 255.255.255.0. And then we got to do dash dash enable. Let me just check my work because I've been known to make mistakes a lot. That's why I named myself the Cyber Dummy. And I'm glad I looked. I got to go back. Network equals the name of your new network. Dash dash server dash IP 10.38.1 dash dash lower IP 10.38.1. Okay, so this right here is what's going to set up your DHCP server so that it allows you to keep the vulnerable machine inside an internal network, so it does not have access to the internet. If you do that, you're going to end up with a lot of bad things happening if a bad actor tries to get in there. So obviously, if we're studying cybersecurity, we got to make the right calls for ourselves so that we do not bring in malware or viruses into our systems. So that's the code we want. And if I hit enter, it should enable this DHCP server, which it did. And the way I can check that is I should be done downloading the Mr. Robot box. We're going to go back to that, and I'm going to show you how to install that. So give me a sec. Okay, so I went into my files. Mr. Robot is there. The thing I did first, which was turn off the antivirus, is a very important part because I did it 5 times and could never find the file. It wasn't in my downloads, wasn't on my system. And then when I started to dig into and research it, I figured out that it was stopping it from downloading. Okay, because you are downloading a vulnerable machine onto your computer. So your antivirus will pick up on that. So the other thing was I kept on trying to unzip it, and VirtualBox and VulnHub has a manager attached to it when you download it. So all you have to do is double click it. Okay. And what's going to pop up is, it's on my other screen, so I'll bring it over for you to see it, is this. So what you want to do is you want to name it. Okay. And you can name it anything you want, but I try not to get too cute. I named it what the box was, so that if I have multiple on there, it could do it. You could do Mr. B1. You can do Elliot, anything that If you watch a series, you can name it whatever you want, just so that you know what it is. If down the road you have multiple boxes on there, so that you don't get confused. So it doesn't matter what you name it. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit finish. Okay. I'm going to go in now that that's finished, and I'm going to turn back on my virus detection so that nothing crazy happens, right? You got to turn back on. I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to delete that out of my system. That way, the only place it is in my virtual box. Okay, we're going to move on. So now I have my virtual box and Elliot, Mr.Robot1 on here. So what I want to do is I want to go into my settings, because you have to change the network, and we're going to go into internal network, and we're going to change the name from Yerk to what we set up, which was FERC, right? We're going to go into settings on Elliot. We're going to go into network. We're going to change that to internal network, and we're going to change it to the name of FERC. Okay. So now that we have these set up, I'm going to go down to my virtual box. Okay, so I had the virtual box up. If you see Mr. Robot Linux login, it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm just going to go through the very first part of it, just to show you how this all worked, right? So once I go into my Kali Linux box, I'm going to do an ifconfig. Okay, it tells me that I'm at 10.38.1.161, right? So I can do a sudo net discover on etho1 or etho, sorry, and it's going to look for anything in that network. And if you understand the way the dynamic server is going to work, it's going to give it probably 162 for Mr. Robot. But if you don't know, then the net discover is going to find it. It does take a minute, so I'm going to come back when it comes back up. Okay, so I made a mistake on that. It's going to be at 10.38.1.160. That 10.38.1.1. That's going to be my computer there. But I'm going to run an nmap on it, which I already did, just to show you. It's going to tell you that port 22 TCP is closed, port 80 TCP is open, and then 443 TCP is open, right? So what I can do is I can open up Firefox. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to type in HTTPS :// 10.38.1.160. Accept the risk and continue. And here you go. This is a really cool box. The way it loads up, some of the interacting parts of it at very first. I'm not going to go through it because that would be a whole different video. But there you have it. That's how you set up a DHCP for Home Hacking Lab. I hope this was helpful. It took me a long time to figure out that my antivirus software was knocking it off my system and not allowing me to download it. Like I said, probably 5 times I did it. And each time you got to wait 20 minutes. So I wasted a good bit of time doing that. I hope that helps you. Setting it up internally is the best and most secure way. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.